Hey everyone, Happy New Year! It's Bella, and I wanted to come to you live here for a little bit to talk about something that's happening in the pet sitting and dog walking industry. And I have a very unique ability to see from a bird's eye view because so many of you trust me to come into your businesses. Hi, Lindsay, and help you. So many of you are also in the mastermind and in my free groups, and I'm just chatting with you in the background and in the back scenes, and there's a lot of things that I see happening in the industry. Now, you gotta know that when I first started Bella's House and Pet Sitting way back in 2002 in Scottsdale, Arizona, I was on a mission to actually have to market and educate people on exactly what a professional pet sitter was, because nobody actually understood that you could have a pet sitter come into your home. Now, I know some of you watching right now, you might be thinking, yeah, that's the way it is in my area still, or no, everyone knows. In fact, everyone knows about Rover and Wag. Hi, Emily. And the thing is that the whole entire industry is shifting and nobody is really talking about it. And so I wanted to talk about it. So the very first thing is that when I first started and in the 90s and in the beginning of the 2000s, I really feel like the baby boomers were the ones that were really, really driving the market. They were the ones that were kind of like putting on the brakes. They wanted to talk to you on the phone all the time as customers. They also were the ones that actually owned a lot of the pet sitting companies. So that way they didn't grow up with technology. They grew up with typewriters. Even I had a typewriting class. I'm on the cusp of millennials, and technology wasn't that big of a deal. But like for almost every 1 year technology is out, it seems like business advances like 5 years. It's insane what technology is doing for our companies. And as such, buyer behavior is changing. Have you guys heard of Carvana? Or have you heard of CarMax? You can literally buy and sell cars sight unseen on the internet now. People want to be a part of the process, and more studies are showing that buyers want to be part of the process. No longer is just a website that talks at you like a blog, a one-way blog, something that's going to actually impact people or stand out or be disruptive. So, hi Danielle, how are you? So the thing is that all of this buyer, the way that we make decisions, the way that we do things, I mean, you're hungry right now. You could have Postmates or Uber Eats come to your door. You need a babysitter tonight. You can go to care.com. You need a pet sitter. You technically could go to rover.com. Okay. And that's the thing, you guys, we have to understand as professional pet sitters that as the baby boomers aren't the most popular segment of buyers anymore, and the millennials are coming into it. The millennials want to be able to solve their problems with this thing that I'm talking on, the phone, okay? Or the tablet or something. And they want to be able to be a part of the process. They want to get those updates. They want that technology. So what I want to encourage you guys to think about is the very first major shift happening is stop talking at your people. Stop talking at your potential people. I want you to bring them into the conversation. I want you to give them a spot to talk and to interact with you. And that's exactly how you can do it, okay? Our industry is now an $86 billion with a B, billion-dollar industry. And it's really important to change the way that you introduce the customer through their purchasing and decision making, and guys, their experience throughout being with your company. So those text messages, that GPS, that map my dog walk, all of that stuff is what's really, really mattering to consumers now. And consumers are really wanting to be able to be interactive on a website. So I want you to keep that in mind. Hi, Karen. The other thing I want you to think about is that there are so many pet sitting and dog walking businesses for sale. And I see this happen all the time. And I started seeing a lot of this happen about 2 years ago. And that's why I created everything you need to know about buying and selling your pet sitting business. I've sold mine. I've helped many people buy and sell theirs. I get asked a lot as an expert because I'm a coach and I know. And The thing is what I see happening is a lot of companies, they've been in business for 5, 10, 15 years. And a lot of people are starting to get, hi, Catherine, they're starting to get burnt out. And what's happening is they stalled their growth, they've hit a plateau and they haven't taken it up to the next level. They've hit the plateau and decided, I'm okay at that plateau. What's up, Kelly? That's a masterminder right there. Or they have decided, you know what, I'm at this plateau. I don't want this business anymore. I want to get out. And so what's happening is a lot of businesses are either selling, and they're either really small businesses that are either just getting up and walking away or selling to the larger companies. Or what a lot of people are noticing, these baby boomers I just told you about, know that it's an $86 billion industry. They know that people are spending more money on their pets today than they've ever spent. And that trend has just kept going up and up and up and up and up, right? So they feel confident taking $100,000, $200,000 out of their 401k and investing in their own pet care business, provided that seller has 3 years of really great records and can literally mathematically prove that they can make their money back in a year and a half, okay? So what's happening is a lot of people are selling now. A lot of mid-sized companies are selling. But something else interesting is happening. I have never seen so many 7-figure pet businesses ever. They were all like inching towards like, I want to be a 6-figure business. But now they're all like, I want to be a $500,000 business. I want to be a 7-figure business. And you know how they're doing that, you guys? They're acquiring services. They are acquiring either other pet sitting companies or dog walking companies or sister companies like grooming, training, boarding, all of that stuff. Yes, Kelly, there are so many more people now getting into 7 figures. Saying that you're 6 figures is almost like, like last year or 10 years ago, because 10 years ago, the industry was just in its infancy. And this is the next plateau that's happening. Now, I'm not saying this to pressure you guys or say that that's what you need to do, because the only thing that you need to do is figure out what you want and then go for it. That's as simple as it is. And we talk about that in the mastermind. But what I'm saying is, so far I've talked about one major shift is technology. And what you really need to do with that technology is bring the buyer with you, not only in the purchasing decision, but also along the customer journey as they are your customer, okay? The second thing that needs to happen is that you got to understand that what are you building your business for? Because eventually you might be selling your business eventually. And you want to really have really good books for 3 years. Or you want to have your books so good that you can get a small business loan because you want to scale your business, not just by getting more customers, by instantly all of a sudden going from a $500,000 company to $1 million company because you just acquired a boarding facility. And one of my clients just did that in September, okay? So I want you to know that the industry is growing up. The pet industry is booming. And I honestly attribute, and this is my third point, a lot of this to Rover and Wag. Now, feel how you feel about them because I probably agree with you, okay? I have to say that not all of them are bad, okay? And if this day and age, if I were to start my own pet sitting company, I started it by hanging flyers up and getting in local community newsletters because that's what was available to me in 2002. Now, I probably would be listed on one of those apps, okay? But I wouldn't be listed on there for long, but I would get my feet wet that way. I would understand and learn about the industry and having a business that way. But let me tell you that Rover and Wag, although it seems, based off of my research, that they're not actually making money, they are doing our industry a service. Any news is good news. And people are now we don't have that problem that I told you at the beginning where we were trying to figure out how to actually educationally market to people and say, hey guys, this is a profession and I can come to your house. Now people know because Rover is on the news for bad stuff, or because they're on TV commercials and bus stops and advertisements, and now as of this week connecting with American Airlines for getting extra miles if you use your American Airlines credit card on the Rover app and you get all these loyalty points, right? All of this stuff, this is an exposure for our industry. So I encourage you to think about, what message are you sending? Are you sending the same message that everyone else is sending? Are you sending a message that is selling the industry? Or is it selling you individually and uniquely? What is so unique about you? And again, that comes back to like the 5 quantum benefits, and we deep dive so good in that in the mastermind, and it changed so many people's websites because they were like, oh my gosh, yeah, I could word it that way and make it sound like I'm amazing. Anyways, so Rover and WAG have entered the room, and so they've already raised $310 million in 10 rounds of fundraising. That's insane. But you know what? That benefits us because, like I said, people are starting to understand and know that this profession exists. And when they get burnt or they realize that Rover isn't meeting their needs, they are going to be going to the internet. They're going to type things like, how much does a pet sitter cost in this town? What are the problems with pet sitters? If they're Googling pet sitters Scottsdale and all of a sudden something comes up and it says something like the problems with pet sitters in Scottsdale, or reviews of the best pet sitters in Scottsdale, and it looks like it's from an actual blog, not some like listing website, people are going to click on it. Rover is also a technology company. And while Michelle Obama says, you know, they go low, you go high, I think you need to keep that in mind. And you can talk about that, and you can talk about the difference between technology companies and professional pet sitters, okay? So I don't want you guys to like, to just always have a bad taste in your mouth. Like, you have to embrace it. It's here. Embrace it and figure out how you can use it to your benefit. I want to know right now, are you guys enjoying this? What are your thoughts? What are the trends that you're seeing in your local community with pet sitting? But consumer behavior has completely changed. Do you know that people ask Google for everything? Do you know that one of the top questions they ask is, should I text her back? Or should I text him back? That's nuts, you guys. That's nuts. I mean, but consciously think of the things that you've asked Google about. If you have a weird, okay, I'm going to use myself. I didn't understand what a hairline fracture looked like. So I was Googling because I was playing around on a scooter. It was not the scooter's fault. It was my fault. Yes, Catherine, I'll get to that. So I went to Google because Google is my best friend and Google tells me everything. Catherine asked, you said I'd be listed on the Rover and WAG sites. I totally would, Catherine, because this day and age, I wouldn't go put posters up because that's what I did in 2002 because Rover and WAG didn't exist. Online listing sites did not exist. That's just what you would expect people to do. I'm not saying that's how I would get my feet wet and get introduced to the industry and understand it. Kelly, this is such a good point what you just said right here. I have had quite a few people call me after having bad experiences with Rover and WAG. That said, I'm trying to see more and I can't see more here. I can't read the rest of it right now, but that's a good point. You know, like that's the thing, like people take their risk with Rover and WAG and then realize it's not all that in a bag of chips, but still want to complete that problem. So if you're putting a stop in your sales process, and there's a couple of pet sitting softwares out there that do this, they do not allow your potential customer to be 2:00 in the morning laying in bed, signing up with you, feeling like they just solved their problem. That makes you stop, and then you have to wait for an email, and you have to wait for a username and password, and right then and there you're gonna lose customers. That software sucks, and it's killing so many businesses. And I know this because I've done studies on it. I see when people switch from this software and they go to another software where people can just automatically sign up. Give the people what they want. They want to be involved with the process. In Edinburgh, UK, Fiona says, huge numbers of dog walkers now since 2010. And when I started, hundreds and hundreds more. Yep, I see it. I don't know why I can't see more on this stuff right now. But Fiona, thank you for chiming in. So you guys, the other major thing is that regulations are in full effect. So the first thing I talked about was the fact that millennials are starting to really take charge of the economy and the millennial buying power and how millennials like to actually go through the buying process and the customer journey. Okay, so pay attention to that. The second thing that you got to pay attention to is that in order to scale your business these days, there's so many pet sitting businesses that are buying out other companies so they can grow faster. And there's a lot of other ones that are also scaling. I'm sorry, they're buying, but they're also, some people are just selling because they're realizing I don't really want to take this business to the next level, or this business is worth something to me. So to you, the person listening right now, you might not feel like you're in either one of those buckets, but that's why your numbers are so important. And number 3 that I just talked about is the fact that Rover's here. And we need to embrace it, and we need to work it and use it for our benefit. They spent all the time and energy fundraising $310 million to get the word out there about the professional industry. So what do you guys think about this so far? I've got another one for you. Are you ready? Tell me you're ready below. I'm going to keep going because this stuff is happening in our industry. And if we stay in our little silo with our blinders on and we're not paying attention, you're going to miss out. You're gonna miss out. You gotta keep your head on the global level, seeing what's happening. Now, one of my other points here is that sales. I'm sorry, not sales. Hi, Danielle. Sorry, I saw your comment come up and then I jumped my thought. Regulations. Regulations they already started coming down the line. Regulations are the number one reason why, you guys, I have been squawking about employees when it wasn't cool. Before employees were cool and everyone was saying, I sees, I was squawking about employees. The major reason why I was squawking about employees is because I'm a control freak. And I know you are too. I know you're a control freak. I know you want to control your business. I know you want to train your people. But now, even more so than that, all of the people that tried to say, oh no, I'm not a control freak, or it's okay, I can do it, or yeah, Emily, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you're liking it. My accountant says it's okay. Y'all are realizing now that the government is not stopping. In fact, it's getting more. Minimum wage is going up even more, which means you need to know your numbers. Things like you have to reimburse for cell phones in Illinois and California is happening. Things like you have to give people sick pay automatically in New Jersey, in California, in Massachusetts, in Arizona is happening. These regulations are happening, you guys. And more people, as people who are working for companies realize the benefits of being in employee status, they're going to want even more to be hired on with companies that have all of those employee benefits, okay? This is just a fact. It's a fact. Not only that, but going back to my second point, and I hope, now I'm getting, really, fired up, you guys. Going back to my other point, nobody wants to buy your business that has ICs. You might as well just let the hobos come and move into your house. A business that has ICs, and some of you might get pissed off at me for saying this, a business that has ICs is worthless. And I can say this confidently because 3 times I've had investors call me, and that was their conclusion. But without saying that first, they wanted to know what I thought. They wanted to know what I thought because I told them that you're taking on the risk. Here's the risk you're taking on. If someone were to get hurt or bit, you're screwed unless they have their own workman's comp. And most of these ICs are not going to want to have their own workman's comp. You cannot train people. You cannot GPS people. You cannot have all that control that it takes, especially for something as personalized as a pet sitting company. Danielle says that Callie is making a huge upset, switching everyone from IC to employee. Absolutely. You guys, if you like this video right now, go ahead and share it out into a group that you're in because this is important information. I actually just wrote a 2,500 word blog on all of this that I will also share in the comments too, so you can kind of scroll through and get all of it. So the regulations are in full effect. Minimum wage is going up, accumulated sick day pay. Many cities are putting limits to how many pets can be under one roof. So all y'all who are on Rover and Wag or starting out your pet sitting company by allowing pets into your own home, it's just a matter of time before somebody, maybe a neighbor, calls upon you or tells on you. And then you're getting fined and said that you can't have pets in your house. And then you go, oh my God, Bella, that was 60% of my business. My income's gone now. I'm going to say, yo, girl, I wrote this email, I predicted this. I wrote this blog 2 years ago. I talked about it on my podcast last year. I told you guys this. I'm telling you, I hate this. I hate being right all the time, but I'm telling you, the proof is in the pudding. Like, I have not been building up all this content just to listen to myself speak. I have over 300 blogs for you guys, over 200 videos, over 130 podcasts of some of the best minds in the world coming together for you. Hi, Michelle. Michelle's one of the ones that's getting hit with that higher minimum wage. So I want you guys to understand that pet sitting and dog walking businesses are growing at the fastest rate ever. Fastest rate. And it's simply because, and I'm going to review again, first of all, baby boomers are on their way out. Millennials are coming in and taking over this buying and spending habits, and they want to be a part of the process. Let them be a part of the process. The second thing is that so many people are buying and selling pet sitting companies right now. They're either buying to help scale really fast, or they're selling because they want to get out of Dodge and they've been burnt out for the past 10 or 15 years because they started back in the 2000s or late 90s. The other reason is that Wag and Rover have entered the room. They've done over $310 million of fundraising. So that basically means that they have taken their platform and all their money and plastered all the media and told people about our industry. So what are you doing to separate yourself? And the other reason that I also talked about were that regulations are in full effect, you guys. The regulations are coming down. And that is something really big that's going to be affecting our industry and the way that people grow their business. Because if they're growing it on a shaky foundation, which would be independent contractors, then it's going to crumble. I have one gal who has $750,000 business and 70 ICs. And she just posted in the mastermind that she just lost $20,000 of revenue a month, and that she really, really wants to encourage everyone to switch early so that you don't have to go through that kind of San Andreas fault like shaking, okay? Michelle, and they got another 65 billion. Jesus, that's nuts. Should we still focus on educating pet parents as far as content? Catherine, yeah, you should. And you should really just keep trying to make your business completely unique. Adriana, thank you for joining and thank you for watching. You guys, again, I'm going to put in the link here. If you're not using software, you need to use software. And if you're not using a software that helps encourage the relationship growing and bonding and forming, and if you don't know what that means, you need to post to me in one of our groups and we can have a deeper discussion about it. Hi, Sue, what's up? So listen, these are my predictions. I want to give you my predictions because I actually made predictions. So one, I think companies are I have 5 of them. And then I got to go because we have a live in our mastermind. So Sue, Michelle, there's a bunch of other you guys sitting in there watching right now where we have a roundup coming up in 8 minutes. Okay, these are my 5 predictions. Are you ready? 1, companies are going to get even larger and benefits packages are going to become even more important. Okay, so what does that mean? You need to know your numbers and you need to be making a good profit. 2, the middle-sized businesses are going to shrink slightly because they're going to get burnt out. They're going to stall out. They're going to sell, or on the opposite side, they're going to grow bigger. So I see these mid-sized companies actually shrinking. Number 3, I think companies are going to start to develop their own software even more now. We know that Power Pet Sitter, Buckhead Pet Pals, they were one of the first on the scene. We know that awesome Adam and Lynn Smith, they have Precise Pet Care and they had their own pet sitting company as well. I predict that there's actually going to be even more competition with software out there, which I think is a really good thing because there's only a few software companies out there that I think are actually doing pet sitting businesses a service. The rest of them are all in it for their own and they're actually hurting companies. Number 4, I think that more regulations are actually going to be coming down the pipeline for proper classification of workers. And as our political climate continues to heat up, and I think it's going to cause a lot more people to switch from ICs to employees. And if you're one of those people, I want to encourage you to check out the article I wrote because I have a special sign up that you'll be the first to know. I have something really cool planned for you in the middle of the spring to really help you get your mind wrapped around switching from ICs to employees. And I'm going to help guide you do all of that. Samantha, Handler is cool. Brittany owns that. She's amazing. And my number 5 prediction, and then I got to get into my mastermind because we're throwing down with our goals in there in 6 minutes. online user experience is going to become one of the most popular selling features and what will really start setting people apart. So I want you guys to think again, I said this at the beginning of the call. I want you to think about the people that, the CarMax, the Carvanas, Postmates, Uber Eats. I want you to think about all that stuff where, oh, your delivery has been approved. Your driver picked it up. Your driver's on its way. We want to be a part of this process. And if you just start Googling and learning about user experience on websites, your mind is going to be blown. And you're going to realize that your website that talks all about you, that's like a brochure, isn't going to cut it in the years to come. I'm telling you this right now so that I can go and replay this next year when everyone starts realizing it. But I'm telling you guys, this is what's going to happen. Now, if this all sounds overwhelming or you want to be in the know, if you want to be around the movers and shakers, if you want to be around the people that are buying these businesses and scaling overnight to $400,000 plus, then you need to check out the mastermind. And that's jumpconsulting.net/mastermind. If any of my mastermind peeps are in here, feel free to drop your code in below. They all have codes to get you $25 off every month. There's no contract. You get access to an HR person every single month to ask whatever you want. How do I fire this person? How do I write this person up? How do I hire this person? Where else are you ever going to get an HR expert for 1 hour a month to ask anything you want? And there's a whole slew of other stuff too. I'm going to go ahead and post this link in this chat. This is the link that kind of also breaks down everything I just told you about. Kelly, you got to go to affiliate.jumpconsulting.net and you can get your own code. You get $25 off and the person you give it to gets $25 off every single month for the lifetime of their membership. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath, get a drink of water, and then I will see you all in the mastermind for those of you who are there. Bye now.